The economy of Indonesia is the most developed in Southeast Asia and is considered to be one of the world's emerging market economies. Indonesia is considered to be a freshly industrialized country despite the fact that it possesses an upper middle income and is a member of the G20. It is projected to have a nominal gross domestic product of over 21 trillion rupiah in 2023, making it the 16th largest economy in the world and the 7th largest economy in terms of GDP. The economy of Indonesia is thriving, and the country has lofty goals of being one of the 10 greatest economies in the world by the year of 2025. The developments that have taken place in the country lead to the prospect of expansion and signal that the value of land, property, and other assets will significantly increase. If growing rich and comfortable is something that can be purchased, then making an investment in real estate in Indonesia is definitely the greatest decision because you can reap the rewards of that investment over the long term. Foreign investors are drawn to Indonesia because the country offers a large variety of chances for investment, and many of these investors prefer to make their investments in high-end real estate. Because of this, the cost of luxury real estate in Indonesia has skyrocketed, and the country has emerged as one of the most competitive real estate markets in the world. In comparison, the cost of living in Bali increased by only 20%, while prices in Jakarta increased by 38% in 2011. This comes out to be almost exactly the same as the price rate in Dubai. In Indonesia, there is a significant amount of construction taking place, and this trend is likely to continue. If you have some money lying around, this might be a good investment for you to make. Putting money into investments not only takes a sizable quantity of cash, but also has the potential to impact one's overall financial liquidity. This places an individual under an even greater amount of pressure. Therefore, entering the labor market in Indonesia may prove to be beneficial. Construction, architecture, business management, and information technology are often the fields in which one may expect to earn the highest salaries in Indonesia. It will be relatively simpler for you to get high-paying jobs if you have a good education and relevant experience. Nevertheless, despite some people's claims that the country is based on merit, having a political affiliation and coming from a financially stable family can still be quite helpful when applying for jobs. In addition to this, many businesses from all over the world are moving their operations to Indonesia, and the country's job market is attractive enough for both natives and those who have moved there from elsewhere. Because of this, Indonesia is widely considered to have one of the greatest economies in the world for exports. In general, the wages of foreign expatriates are greater than those of the natives. Because of the wide gap in currency values, it is possible for foreigners to make a fortune in Indonesia due to the country's exceptionally low living costs. It's possible that the concept of working for someone else won't appeal to everyone. Being an entrepreneur is a choice that is made by those who would rather be their own boss than work for someone else. An economy that is expanding at a high rate is a land of opportunities, particularly if there is an atmosphere that is generally favorable to the establishment of new firms. Because Indonesia is such a popular tourist destination, the country offers a wealth of opportunities for entrepreneurs interested in starting companies that serve the tourism sector. The ancestry of a significant number of the wealthiest people in the world may be traced back to Indonesia. The nation is experiencing one of the quickest increases in the number of millionaires in all of Asia. In addition to this, the middle class in Indonesia is expanding, which has resulted in an increased desire for expensive and luxury goods. As a consequence of this, there is a possibility of a very high income being made from the sale of this kind of product in Indonesia. There are only some of the ways that one can amass wealth, and they are in no means strategies that ensure one will become wealthy. At the end of the day, the person who has made the most contribution is you. The outcome would be determined by your inventiveness, talent, and persistent effort. If one is willing to put in the extra effort and is committed to their goals, there is enormous potential to amass riches in Indonesia. There is a wealth of opportunity in Indonesia for those with skills who are interested in getting rich the Indonesian way. To prevent regional development gaps from widening, Technological change in Indonesia should account for regional differences in demands and opportunities. Specific policies are required to get these sectors ready for digitization. Indonesia's path to prosperity could be sped up by the digital economy, but without careful planning and sound regulations, technological revolution could exacerbate existing regional imbalances and impoverishment. The island of Java stands to gain the most, strengthening its position as the primary economic hub of the country. Compared to a baseline scenario of 5.88% growth from 2030 to 2040, the report predicts that the region might witness growth rates of up to 6.65% with the implementation of new technology. However, Papua and Maluku, which are currently the poorest parts of the country, will fall even further behind. Even with the implementation of cutting-edge technologies, they are predicted to achieve very modest economic growth of 3.8% in the same decade. In order to prevent the digital divide from widening, it is imperative that Indonesia implements policies specifically designed to help underserved areas get ready for the digital age. There is a significant barrier to investing in new technologies due to poor communications and internet infrastructure. The internet infrastructure outside of Java, particularly in the provinces, needs urgent improvement. Enterprises in the automotive, electronic, food and beverage, textile and clothing, and footwear sectors face challenges when it comes to gaining access to information that may help them innovate and embrace new technologies. Therefore, regions that rely largely on these industries may want to consider implementing programs to help businesses learn about and take advantage of emerging technologies. It is essential to remember that the capacity and preparedness of Indonesian manufacturers to embrace new technologies varies not just within sectors, but also across regions when discussing technology transfer and technical support for businesses. This means that different levels of assistance mechanisms are required to solve the difficulties encountered by businesses at different stages of technological development. The adoption of new technology is hampered by the high price of innovation and the difficulty of securing financial backing. To solve this problem, businesses in similar geographic areas could combine their resources to design or acquire cutting-edge technical solutions. For instance, Singapore's Tech Depot platform facilitates the adoption of dozens of technology solutions by SMEs with the help of grants and other financial incentives. A critical mass of skilled people will be a key factor in maintaining competitiveness. Policymakers face the difficulty of keeping up with the changing needs of local business and developing training and education initiatives to meet that demand. Local governments play a crucial role in developing and designing these policies because they are more likely to have an information edge over the federal government in reacting to local needs and preferences. The task at hand is monumental, but Indonesia has a history of generating robust economic growth while reducing regional disparities. There has been a general tendency towards convergence in per capita income, inequality, and poverty levels across the country's districts and municipalities since the implementation of decentralization measures in 2001. With the appropriate policies in place, Indonesia can make sure that no part of the country is left behind as it rides this wave of technological transformation.